It's another WRAL weather alert day due to afternoon and evening storms and high heat. I'll show you when the storms arrive and who's under the heat advisory today.
Stuck on the taxiway. Passengers arriving at RD International overnight left sitting on their planes for hours. The questions we're asking about their uncomfortable delays.
First day of school, students on Wake County's year-round tracks are going back to the classroom today. How schools are preparing to keep them safe as they return.
We are following those stories and more here this morning. WRAL News at 8 starts in about 30 seconds.
Now be careful with Hardee's new hot honey. You'll get lost in that made-from-scratch hot honey chicken biscuit. Right now, get the hot honey chicken biscuit or any chicken biscuit for just $3.99. Only at Hardee's.
What's up, Bubba?
Hey, Brad.
Did we win something?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Partner with some chicken.
Yeah.
Right now on the app, My Rewards members get the Bubba Wallace Full Throttle Tenders Meal with a collectible Hardee's card.
Good morning, everyone. It's 8 a.m. here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Fox 50. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Of course, another hot day.
Oh,
and
man.
The threat of severe weather later on. Let's get right to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Ooh, it just seems to go on and on. I mean, one great thing is we did see some significant rain in our viewing area yesterday, but the unfortunate part is that in a thunderstorm pattern like we're seeing right now, it's not equitable. Not everybody sees it every day. We also had some wind damage, some trees down. We'll talk about that. We also have our heat advisory in effect again today, but just for our southern counties. So it's a WRAL weather alert day. Everyone's under the level 1 risk for severe storms. Of course, those storms tend to crop up in the afternoon and evening, and that'll be the case again this afternoon. We do have the heat alert just for our southern counties, though. So Smithfield, Lillington, Fayetteville, Clinton, Goldsboro, that's where the heat advisory is. This is where it'll feel like 105 or hotter. The rest of the viewing area is still feeling like 100 to 104, feeling like 102 in Durham, 103 in Raleigh, but 106 in Goldsboro and in Fayetteville. So just want to take it easy again this afternoon. A pretty look in Angier. We're seeing partly cloudy skies, but it is sticky and muggy out and just warm. 73 is our dew point. 77 is the temperature, and we climb into the mid-90s for this afternoon. When the rain starts, temperatures will begin to drop. But if you don't see any rain today, then you'll be stuck with the heat again. We also have a risk for severe storms again tomorrow. So we'll walk through that coming up in just a bit. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we continue to monitor some heavy congestion coming in out of Zebulon. This is a live look at Highway 64, the Lizard Lake Road. These are the lanes coming into the Nidell area and eventually into Raleigh. Right now, you're looking at a 10-minute delay. So things are getting better. About 45 minutes ago, this delay was up to 35 minutes. So things are thinning out. That crash that happened around the Wendell Boulevard area, that has since cleared. But you can see the lingering delays stretching all the way past Arundel Avenue. Of course, you've got Highway 97 or West Gatling Street as an alternate route this morning. The live look at I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, the westbound lanes moving away from us this morning. We usually see the usual congestion between Lake Wheeler and Gorman Street. Right now, you're looking at a 6-minute delay all the way over to US 1. So keep that in mind as you navigate that southern loop of the Beltline. As for that northern loop of the Beltline, where things are still congested, there around a 10-minute delay. The bulk of the congestion, though, is between Capitol Boulevard and the I-87 440 interchange. So depending on where you're headed this morning, you might want to choose I-540 as an alternate route. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Flights at RDU are still facing some issues after severe weather last night. Right now, 13 are canceled, 21 delayed. And overnight, several planes that arrived sat on the taxiway for hours. Ali Katlabar is at RDU for us live right now on the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, only on WRAL, you spoke with passengers who were stuck on planes more than 3 hours after landing.
Yeah, Laura, and we're learning this morning that there were issues with people leaving at RDU and arriving at RDU. Take a look at all of these bags here. This is only at American Airlines baggage claim right here. We did just speak with a passenger who says he waited 9 hours to get on his flight. They ended up canceling, and so he had to stay in a hotel and then come back here and pick up his luggage. So that's been the case for several passengers this morning. Now, RDU says the storms caused 9 American Airlines flights to be held on the ground before parking at open gates. It says each airline has different safety protocols during severe weather, and so RDU worked with American Airlines to park their planes at open gates when the airline's protocols allowed. I did speak with passengers who flew in from New York this morning. They say they deplaned about 3 hours after landing. They were told there were not enough gates available. A passenger said there was just a lot of confusion and uncertainty on the plane.
They were being very vague. They didn't give any answers. They were just like, there's not enough staff, there's not enough this, not enough that. But then it became there's too many airplanes ahead of us waiting to deboard. It was just excuses, and I would have really preferred some clarity.
Yeah, and so we are working to get some more information. FlightAware shows that other airlines did not run into these deplaning issues like American Airlines did. So we have reached out to American Airlines to learn more about how their safety protocols differ from other airlines during severe storms. Of course, when we hear back, we'll let you know. Reporting live at RDU, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Well, because of the rough weather that caused that situation at RD International, we received reports of trees down in Wake County this morning. This is video from Winterwood Drive, that's north of Raleigh. You can see a large oak tree down on the road. Didn't appear to damage nearby homes, though. And the WRAL Breaking News Tracker saw another tree down on K. Woody Court. That's near Six Forks Road and I-540. The tree's down across the road, as you can see there. No damage appeared to be done to homes or buildings in that area as well.
About 40,000 students across Wake County will return to the classroom this morning for the first day of year-round school. Can you believe it already?
Already. So let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey, joining us live from Lake Myra Elementary School there in Wendell. And students, Kelsey, will be arriving very soon. I see some arriving right there behind you.
Yes, Ken, it seems like those students actually have a mom that's a teacher at this school. We've enjoyed talking to the teachers as they've arrived here for the first day of year-round school here at Lake Myra Elementary. Let's go ahead and talk about a big update to school safety that parents need to know about across Wake County schools. So starting this year, all Wake County schools will follow a new standard response protocol. It includes 5 stages for an emergency response: hold, secure, lock down, evacuate, and shelter. Superintendent Robert Taylor explains why the district decided to implement the change.
It's about making sure there's a common way to identify everything that happens, both with law enforcement that's outside of the school, but also the school population in terms of recognizing what kind of emergency is taking place. And so it is an opportunity to take a lot of the anxiety out of certain kinds of emergencies.
And a question that parents always have at the start of a new school year is, what about the bus routes? Are they fully covered? Well, the district says that they have full coverage for all of the bus routes for year-round schools, and then traditional calendar schools start on August 24th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Happening today, Governor Josh Stein plans to take action on the new state budget. The $34 billion spending plan passed the legislature last week with bipartisan support. The Republican-backed plan would give raises of at least 3% to all state workers. Teachers, prison workers, and other law enforcement roles would get more. Democrats have raised objections to other parts of the budget, and the governor must now decide whether to sign the budget into law, veto it, or let it become law without his signature. We have been covering the budget now for weeks, and you can find our coverage at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. We will follow the latest on Governor Stein's decision throughout the day, on air and online. You can follow on the WRAL app and in our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m.
Also happening today, Raleigh's water restrictions could get tighter sooner rather than later. City Council will discuss the rules at today's meeting. City leaders say many people are not adhering to restrictions in place. They also say steeper penalties may be needed to preserve the dwindling water supply.
WRAL has learned one of the victims of a deadly crash over the weekend was a UNC Health employee. We're talking about 48-year-old Scott Christopherson here. He worked at UNC Health. This is a photo of his wife and daughter. He and his wife were killed Saturday when the Fast Park bus they were in overturned after a collision. We're also hearing from a woman who was at the scene of this crash on Saturday and tried to help save the couple. Uber driver Kim Johnson pulled up to the scene moments after the wreck. Johnson jumped out of her car and into action, performing CPR until first responders arrived.
There was definitely uncertainty and definitely anxiety around around acting, but I really believe that doing something is better than doing nothing. It was really surreal and horrifying.
My goodness. The family tells WRAL that they are devastated and says Scott and Jennifer lived a life full of adventure. The couple's daughter, who was also on the shuttle at the time, is recovering in the hospital. Seven-year-old Barry Hayes has been charged in this case.
Well, the United States out of the men's FIFA World Cup. They were eliminated last night. Team USA fell to Belgium in the round of 16 match by a score of 4-1. Malik Tillman scored the only goal for the United States. Belgium will face Spain in the quarterfinals. That match will be Friday, and you can watch all the action of that game right here on Fox 15. Well, Spain's win is our FIFA World Cup score of the day. They moved on by beating Portugal 1-0 yesterday, and that put an end to Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup career. What a legend and what a fun athlete to watch. Well, Team USA may be gone, but there's still plenty of action to be had. You can catch the matches on Fox 50 right here today at noon. It will be Argentina against Egypt. Then at 4 o'clock this afternoon, it's Switzerland and Colombia.
Your time now, 8:11. Roof collapse. The Northeast and Mid-Atlantic were hit hard by storms and heavy rain yesterday. The damage left behind in one area while people were grocery shopping.
Also, more water restrictions. We just mentioned it a little bit ago. The drought is not going away anytime soon. The new rules in place for some communities in our area.
And we have a flood risk and a risk for severe storms. That means wind damage and heavy rain. I'll show you what time it will start and whether you'll be affected. 8:14, our next weather maker, a weak front that'll come through and mainly just dissipate, but it will give us the potential for more storms as we head through the afternoon and evening. So today's a WRAL weather alert day. That severe level 1 risk is for the entire viewing area, and it'll feel like yesterday. There were a few reports of some wind damage, especially in our eastern counties. We could see that again later on today. Our chance of showers and storms continues to climb as we get into the evening, but there may be some around by the time we get to the evening commute. Also, heat, a big deal. We have a heat advisory in effect for our southern counties. We're 106 in Fayetteville, 106 Clinton, and in Goldsboro. That'll be the heat index. And then from the Triangle area northward, still hot, anywhere from around 100 to 103. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we're still monitoring this heavy congestion we're picking up on Highway 64 around the Lizard Lake Road there in Zebulon. You can see these lanes coming into the Nidale area and subsequently into the Raleigh area. Right now, we're picking up a 25-minute delay on those Highway 64 lanes out of Zebulon because you can see there's a lingering delay stretching all the way back past Arundel Avenue. It was the result of a crash that happened around Wendell Boulevard earlier in the morning. So right now, if you're in a bit of a rush, you might want to take Wendell Boulevard or even Highway 97 as alternate routes at this hour.
I want to bring you here into the WRAL Live Center as we continue to track President Donald Trump's visit to Turkey ahead of that NATO summit this week. There are different feeds that we have up here in the WRAL Live Center. You'll see that on this perspective on the camera all the way over to the left, this is showing them outside of the presidential compound there in the capital of Ankara. But then there's also this spot here, which I think is a little more grand in terms of the image showing where the presidential motorcade is supposed to be. While the president is in Turkey, he's set to talk about fighter jet sales for Turkey. You may recall during his first administration that he had banned the sales of those, so it could be a signaling of kind of turning that in regard to Turkey. But he's also set to talk with the president of Ukraine. As you know, that Ukraine and Russia have been warring for several years now. But in terms of if that'll come to an end as a result of these talks, we'll be watching closely here in the WRAL Live Center.
Chris, thank you. Our area was not the only one hit hard with heavy rain and storms yesterday. Check out this video here from a BJ store in New Jersey. 2 people were temporarily trapped after part of the roof collapsed from the rain. You can see the floors covered with water. Police say 27 people were inside when the ceiling fell. The people who were trapped were able to get themselves free. No one was hurt. More than 60 million people across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast were under flood watches yesterday. Well, the second day of preliminary hearings for the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk will happen today in Utah. Prosecutors are trying to show there is enough evidence for Tyler Robinson to stand trial on a capital murder charge. He would face the death penalty if convicted on that charge. Charlie's widow, Erica Kirk, and his parents attended the first day of the hearings yesterday. Donald Trump Jr. was also there. The preliminary hearings are expected to last 5 days.
Well, Holly Springs is the latest Wake County town adding water restrictions. Even-numbered addresses can water their lawns on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 to 10 a.m. or 6 to 10 p.m. Odd-numbered addresses can only water on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays for the same time period. Fayetteville is also under water restrictions as well. The city is asking people to limit outdoor watering, washing cars, and delaying filling or refilling swimming pools. This is all voluntary right now and effective immediately. Well, the heat and fireworks kept emergency teams across the Triangle busy last weekend. UNC Health says dozens of people were sent to the hospital. They treated about 50 people for heat-related illnesses. They also saw 10 fireworks injuries.
Well, the dog days of summer are known as the hottest time of year, but is that actually true? And where did that phrase even come from? Meteorologist Chris Michaels has the answer in today's Ask the Meteorologist. Chris, the dog days.
The dog days, yeah, they're definitely here. And initially, I thought it was just like some kind of folklore, but it actually dates back to ancient Rome. And the reason why is that they thought that Sirius, the dog star, when it was rising in conjunction with the sun, that it was actually heating things up. Obviously, we know now that it's only the sun that can heat things up, and boy, has it been doing that. So the dog days are from July the 3rd until August the 11th. So I split things up into pre-dog days, and post-dog days. And what you see here is that in both Raleigh and Fayetteville, the dog days of summer are indeed the hottest, and they've been getting hotter in recent years. If you were to kind of take our entire period of record and split it up, you could see, especially over the past 35 years or so, the dog days of summer have been warming. A lot of you guys know that there's been more urbanization in the area, so that does contribute to some of the heat. And speaking of the dogs, can't forget about them if we're going to talk about the dog days of summer. When it's hot and when it's sunny, keep their paws off the pavement and the concrete. Those things absorb a lot of heat. And Elizabeth, there's been a lot of heat to absorb over the past few days.
There really has. And, Chris did a little research and found that we've had the most record highs this year that we ever since we've been keeping records. So really, really hot. And our heat risk continues for today. It's major. Our southern counties are under a heat advisory again, and we have the severe threat again, like we did yesterday. We have a cold front that'll come into the viewing area and basically fizzle out, but it still will help to produce some thunderstorms for today. We did have some much needed rain in spots and a couple of lines. We had a line of some stronger storms in our southern counties, one of those right through the Triangle area, and then another just above it and another up into Virginia. So we ended up with the northern part of Wake County, including Raleigh, seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain with nothing in the southern part of the county. We ended up with a line of storms that produced up to 2 inches of rain to the north, and then same thing, about 2 to 2.5 inches in that line down to the south. But plenty of people didn't see any. This is a look at some of the totals. We saw over 2 inches in Knightdale and Durham, almost 2 inches in Rocky Mount, about an inch and 1.3 there in Clinton, Oxford, and Siler City, about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. So it was definitely not equitable across our area. We also had some severe storms. All of these white circles there are where we had some wind damage, some trees down. Smithfield, Rocky Mount, a lot of those in Franklin County and in Wake County yesterday. So we do have that level 1 risk for severe storms. We could see severe weather as well as some heavy downpours. Those are likely to begin right after lunchtime. There's noon, there's 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's when it all begins. Notice the coverage though. It's in patches, it's in little cells. It's not something that everyone will end up seeing. Most likely by 7 or 8 o'clock, we start to see it a little more widespread in our northern counties. So we do have a little bit of a flood risk, especially in our northeastern counties. And then of course that severe threat. Tomorrow, another severe threat. Same story, that level 1 risk. Tomorrow, again, in the afternoon and evening, that chance of some thunderstorms. All total for the next 7 days, hopefully we'll end up with around 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, but it won't be equitable. As I mentioned, it'll come in some small batches, and some people will see it, and it'll be pretty heavy. Our heat advisory from our southern counties southward, with our peak heat index around 106 to 107. We could end up tying a record on Friday, so we're going to add to that number of record highs potentially. A little bit cooler as we get into next week. Another good chance of showers and storms Saturday and Sunday. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, we continue to follow that heavy congestion coming out of Highway 64 in Lizard Lake area. Now, around the Lizard Lake area, it appears to be thinning out, but We're still seeing that heavy congestion going all the way back past Arundel Avenue. Right now, you're looking at an 18-minute delay, so things are getting better. When I checked about 15 minutes ago, it was up to 28 minutes. So things are beginning to thin out just a little bit. You can see from our live traffic map this morning. So if you're getting ready to head out the door, you want to avoid this right now. You might want to use Wendell Boulevard or West Gannon Avenue or Highway 97 as an alternate route. Just avoid Highway 64 for right now. Here's a look at I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. You can see the camera trained on this situation there on the exit ramp, but really and truly traffic flowing at a really steady clip on the east and westbound lanes there at Lake Wheeler Road. Right now, you're looking at just a 3-minute delay, just the bulk of the congestion between Lake Wheeler Road and Gorman Street. When you get past Gorman Street, is clear sailing. On that northern loop of the Beltline as well, things are really thinning out as well. Just a 3-minute delay.
Ken, thank you. July bargains, from mattresses to big appliances and back to school. 5 on Your Side shares the top deals that you'll find right now. And if you see breaking news or have a story tip or videos or pictures of the weather, report it to us at WRAL.com/reportit.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Levine here on your Tuesday morning. The time is 8:26. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking another round of some storms. Elizabeth.
It's another WRAL Weather Alert Day. We had some severe storms yesterday with some wind damage and some heavy rain. We'll see that developing again this afternoon. You know, the typical time period after lunchtime into the evening is when we'll see those storms. And we could have some trees down and some brief heavy rainfall. Another hot day, too. The heat index in our southern counties could climb up to 105 or 106. That's where our heat advisory is. Elsewhere, it'll feel like around 100 to 103 or 4. Ken?
Oh, Elizabeth, things are beginning to thin out a little bit on Highway 64 around the Lizard Lake area in Zebulon. You can see what I'm talking about. These lanes coming into Nidell, eventually into Raleigh right now. You're just looking at a 7-minute delay, so things are getting better, but we're still seeing some stubborn congestion really lingering between Lizard Lake Road and Arundel Avenue. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out. I mean, 7 minutes not really going to make or break you this morning. I-40 Lake Wheeler Road traffic flowing at a nice steady clip in both directions.
Well, thousands of Wake County students returned to the classroom this morning for the first day of year-round school. There will be new safety protocols in place that includes 5 stages for a response: hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. Raleigh's water restrictions could get tighter soon. The city council will discuss the rules at today's meeting. City leaders say many people are not adhering to restrictions in place. They also say steeper penalties may be needed. Coming up next on Fox 50 now, passengers on RDU stuck on the tarmac for hours overnight. And coming up on Today, bakery tourism in the UK is on the rise.
It's another WRAL Weather Alert Day due to afternoon and evening storms and high heat. I'll show you when the storms arrive and who's under the heat advisory today.
Stuck on the taxiway. Passengers arriving at RD International overnight left sitting on their planes for hours. The questions we're asking about their uncomfortable delays.
First day of school, students on Wake County's year-round tracks are going back to the classroom today. How schools are preparing to keep them safe as they return.
It's that time of year for year-round students.
I just can't believe it already.
Hey, glad you're with us right now. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. You know what else is here? Another round of severe storms, coupled by that heat as well. Elizabeth Gardner tracking that for us. Elizabeth, it was nice to see some rain, though, in the viewing area.
Oh, it was. Boy, it came down at my house yesterday, and I was so thankful. A lot of it, ran right off because it was so heavy. But a lot of people, even in southern Wake County, didn't see any rain. It's just the way the pattern happens in the summertime. It's cellular, and so some people see it, some people don't. But another potential for some heavy rain and some severe storms, and then also a heat advisory in our southern counties. Our severe risk begins mostly mid to late afternoon. We had some wind damage reports yesterday. Could see that again today, too. Expect between 3 and 5 for some storms to begin to pop up and continue into the evening. And then from Lillington and Smithfield southward, that's where we have a heat advisory. It'll feel more like 105 to 106 here. Elsewhere, it'll feel more like 100 to 104. There has has to be a cutoff somewhere, and it's right at 105. So southern counties in that heat index, again, a high heat index everywhere, though, over the triple digits. And Andrew, we're seeing a little bit of cloud cover starting to build in. It's really warm and sticky this morning. 73 is the dew point, 77 is our temperature, and we're on our way into the mid-90s. But of course, with the heat index, it will feel like triple digits everywhere. Tomorrow, we have another chance for storms, and it's a level 1 risk, so we'll walk through what we'll see on Wednesday coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now at the WRAL Traffic Center. Boy, take a look at this. Some heavy congestion still around Highway 64 in the Lizard Lake area there of Zebulon. These are the lanes coming into Nidell and eventually into Raleigh. A crash happened early on Wendell Boulevard, and it's causing some lingering delays. Right now, we're just looking at a 5-minute delay. Things are getting better because at one point, 45 minutes ago, it was up to like a 28-minute delay. So really and truly, we're seeing this lingering delay stretching all the way back past Arundel Avenue. Of course, you've got Gannon Avenue or Highway 97 as an alternate route. Southern loop of the Beltline, I-40 Lake Wheeler Road. You can see these are the westbound lanes moving away from us. And really, truly, that's kind of the congestion we see this time of the morning between Lake Wheeler Road and the Gorman Street exit. So right now, you're looking at just a 4-minute delay, really nothing that's going to make you late. You can get through that. As for that northern loop of the Beltline, for those of you navigating that and you're listening to us on the radio, you're just looking at a 3-minute delay. The bulk of the congestion is really around the Capitol Boulevard exit. And once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it is clear sailing. You're in the car. Thank you for listening, but you're getting ready to do so. 101.5 HD3 will keep you posted.
Yeah, I want to bring you back to the WRAL Live Center for some breaking news we received. Looking into some court documents here, it looks like these two parents from Garner and Wake County are accused of breaking their 6-month-old baby's ribs. Now, they were arrested yesterday, according to the warrant here, but it looks like this actually, the warrant was issued back in April. And the crime goes back to August 14th of last year. So it's been some months since there's been developments with this. On the left of your screen, that is Daniel Santamaria. And on the right, that is Lucinda Santamaria. Again, they are listed as the parents of this 6-month-old child. Each is charged with 4 felony charges, including 2 counts of intentional child abuse with serious bodily injury and negligent child abuse with serious bodily injury. We'll be following this story a little bit closely, but it looks like they do have a court appearance set for about 1:30 in the afternoon.
We will continue to follow that. Chris, thank you. Flights at RDU are still facing some issues after the severe weather last night. We have a live look over the airport this morning where right now 11 flights are canceled, 19 delayed. Overnight, several planes that arrived sat on the taxiway for hours. Ali Katlabar is live at RDU right now on the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, behind you, it looks like people are lined up there, possibly picking up the luggage that was left behind.
Yeah, Laura, so these are passengers from one of the recently landed flights. This is from Charlotte. Now, I have spoken to passengers who have just landed.
Okay, we have some mic issues right there with Ali, but Ali was saying that RDU says lightning strikes near the airport caused several delays and backups, and passengers reached out saying that they waited to deplane on the taxiway for around 2.5 to more than 3 hours. RDU says the storms caused 9 American Airlines flights to be held on the ground before parking at open gates. It says each airline has different safety protocols during severe weather. RDU worked with American Airlines to park their planes at open gates when the airline's protocols allowed. She also spoke with passengers who flew in from New York, and they say that they deplaned about 3 hours after landing. They were told there were not enough gates available. A passenger said that there was a lot of uncertainty and concern on the plane.
American Airlines does communicate with us, but it's very minimal. They don't seem to know what's going on. Everyone's confused. We're all just kind of sitting there. It's very frustrating, especially when you book your flight and it's the day after the 4th of July. People have work, people have other responsibilities. It's kind of unacceptable.
And it appears, according to FlightAware, that American Airlines was the only airline that had these issues last night. We have reached out to American Airlines and RDU for additional information. We have received reports of trees down in Wake County this morning after last night's storms. This is video from Winterwood Drive, that's north of Raleigh. You can see a large oak tree down on the road. Fortunately, it did not appear to do any damage to the homes around it. And the WRAL Breaking News Tracker spotted another tree down on K. Woody Court. That's near Six Forks Road and I-540. The tree was down across the road. There also didn't appear to be any damage to homes or other buildings there.
Well, about 40,000 students all across Wake County will return to the classroom this morning for the first day of year-round school. Let's get to WRAL's Kelsey Coffey. She's live at Lake Myra Elementary School in Wendell, where students are arriving. Kelsey, as we enter a new school year, we know safety is usually the top of mind for parents.
Yes, Ken, it's always top of mind for parents and families. I'll go ahead and step out the way so you can get a live look now at some of the little ones here. We're seeing quite a few kindergartners for their first day of school. All of these students having their first day of school on the year-round track. So we'll also tell you guys a little bit about what parents need to know as far as an update for safety protocols for Wake schools this year. Starting this year, all Wake County schools will follow a new standard response protocol. It includes 5 stages for an emergency response: hold, secure, lock down, evacuate, and shelter. Superintendent Robert Taylor explains why the district decided to implement this change.
So what we're looking at doing is making sure we have a safety protocol that aligns with national standards. It really defines how we identify emergencies. It uses common sense language. And so we just want parents to know that we're doing all the things necessary to make schools even safer. And this is one of the ways that we're doing it, aligning all of those protocols.
And a question that a lot of parents have at the start of a new school year is, what about the bus routes? Well, the district says that all of the bus routes are fully staffed for year-round schools this year. Traditional calendar students, they'll start school on August 24th, but we'll be sure to keep you updated on what's going on here outside of Lake Myra Elementary as school starts this morning at 9:15. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
Well, it should be an exciting time for students. I want to turn our attention now to the updating the water levels at Falls Lake from the Army Corps of Engineers. We should get an update this morning. Also, Raleigh's water restrictions could get tighter soon. City Council will discuss the rules at today's meeting. City leaders say many people are not adhering to the restrictions in place. They also warn steeper penalties may be needed to preserve the dwindling water supply.
Today, Governor Josh Stein plans to take action on the new state budget. The $34 billion spending plan passed the legislature last week with bipartisan support. The Republican-backed plan would give raises of at least 3% to all state workers. Teachers, prison workers, and other law enforcement roles would get more. Democrats have raised objections to other parts of the budget. You can find our coverage of the effort to get the budget passed in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. And of course, we will follow those developments on the new state budget throughout the day. You can follow on the WRAL app and in our evening newscast starting at 4 p.m.
Well, today, city leaders in Raleigh will talk about a possible teen curfew. This comes after massive crowds of young people caused mayhem and led to several shootings over the weekend. Raleigh police says thousands of teenagers gathered at Glenwood South and Briar Creek. 9 people were hurt and dozens arrested. We reached out to Raleigh police to ask if they were aware of any potential planned so-called takeovers and what steps they're taking to prevent them from happening again. So far, we've not heard back. Of course, when we do, we'll let you know what Police Chief Rico Boyce has to say. Other cities across North Carolina have dealt with similar situations. For example, in Greenville, the mayor says his city had to make a change after a takeover last month.
We took a proactive approach with granting a proclamation of emergency, and we created a curfew. I can't say that it's going to be a success for every community. You know, Raleigh's different than Greenville, North Carolina is, but what we've been able to do has been very successful.
Raleigh Mayor Janet Cowell tells WRAL the city is looking at a curfew for anyone under 18 years old. Police Chief Rico Boyce will give a presentation to City Council at a meeting that starts at 1 this afternoon. Well, this morning we're expected to learn more about a fire over the weekend in Dunn that killed a child. It happened on East Pope Street. The fire chief confirms 2 other people were taken to an area hospital there. At this time, their conditions are unclear. Investigators are working to figure out whether fireworks caused this fire. Today's press conference is around 10 o'clock this morning.
The United States has been eliminated from the FIFA World Cup. The American team lost to Belgium last night in their round of 16 match, 4-1. Malik Tillman scored the only goal for the United States. Belgium will now face Spain in the quarterfinals. That match will be Friday at 3 p.m. You can watch it on Fox 50. Your time now, 8:41. Lessons learned from Chantal. Intense flooding damaging homes and businesses in the Triangle 1 year ago. The message from victims who are still trying to recover.
Also, top summer deals from mattresses to big appliances and yes, back to school. 5 on your side sharing what you can save big right now.
And it is another WRAL weather alert day. We have chances for rain today and tomorrow, both days with a level 1 risk. I'll let you know what that means and what time the storms will start. 8:44, today's a WRAL weather alert day. We have a severe weather threat all across our viewing area and for most of the state, as a matter of fact. We'll start to see the storms developing after lunchtime, and they may intensify and become a little bit more widespread once we get into the evening, similar to what we saw yesterday. Also, similar to yesterday, we'll likely have at least a few reports of wind damage, and we'll have some heavy rain associated with the cells that do develop. It's also a hot day today. Our heat index likely to be around 100 to 103 from Raleigh northward, but our southern counties more like 105 to 106, and so that's where the heat advisory is for today. We take a live look here at North Hill, starting to look really hazy. Our temperatures are climbing into the mid to upper 70s already, and highs will climb into the mid 90s this afternoon. A good day to head to the pool until mid to late afternoon when the storms develop. Ken?
Elizabeth, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Some good news. Congestion beginning to ease on that Highway 64 Lizard Lake Road area out of Zebulon. You can see these lanes coming toward us this morning, eventually heading into the Nidell area and eventually into Raleigh. Right now, you're just looking at a 5-minute delay stretching all the way back to Arundel Avenue as we widen out the view. Once you get past that slowdown in Zebulon, you're looking at a 5-minute delay. Once you get down around the Nidell area, a 7-minute delay for our friends at Wake Forest. And we're also picking up a 7-minute delay for our friends in Wake in Apex coming in on US 1 North at this hour.
Ken, thank you. Big summer savings are still out there if you know where to look. 5 on your side's Ashley Rose shows us some of the big bargains that will save you the most.
Large appliances and mattress price cuts will likely linger through the first half of the month. If you're in the market for a mattress, Consumer Reports recommends focusing on comfort and support rather than brand hype. And don't be afraid to negotiate. For large appliances, CR says there are more ways to maximize your savings. Bundle multiple appliances, check for price matches, and consider floor models or open box items with minor cosmetic flaws.
You'll also see a lot of sales on other items like outdoor things, patio umbrellas, grills, outdoor fireplaces.
In its labs, Consumer Reports testers say the best patio umbrellas, coupled with the right weighted bases, can withstand breezes and be tilted as the sun moves. But if you're hoping to get a deal on a new grill, act fast.
Over the last couple of years, I've seen fewer and fewer options actually go on sale. So if you do see a good price on a grill, your best bet is to grab it as quickly as possible because it might not be there tomorrow.
Gas is convenient. Charcoal adds smoky flavor, and pellet models offer versatility and temperature control. The best models in CR's ratings are built to last, preheat quickly, have a wide temperature range, and most importantly, they cook evenly. And it's not too soon to be thinking back to school. Many sales have already started, giving families a head start on everything from school supplies to dorm essentials. Ashley Rowe, 5 on your side.
I haven't had it yet. Well, if you shop at Publix, check your freezer. The grocery store is recalling its frozen Greenwise organic IQF blueberries. The recall comes after a dozen E. coli cases were confirmed between May and June. The blueberries were sold on or before July 3rd in 8 states, including here in North Carolina. You can return them to Publix for a refund.
It has been a year since Tropical Depression Chantal dumped a foot of rain in parts of central North Carolina. And now local business owners are looking back on a year of recovery. The storm dropped nearly 9 inches of rain in Chapel Hill. The intense flooding damaged businesses at Eastgate Crossing Shopping Center, including at the Loop restaurant. Co-owner Jeff Miller tells us they had to replace nearly everything. The restaurant was able to reopen in January. Miller says it was all thanks to his landlord.
To be honest, the town wasn't any help. The landlord has done a wonderful job. They've been extremely helpful. But as far as governments are concerned, no help whatsoever.
And Miller says that his landlord and the community put together a GoFundMe to help pay some of the employee wages. His landlord is now working on a flood control plan for the shopping center. Miller is asking the town to do something to mitigate the risk in that floodplain because he's convinced that this will happen again. All right, it's the end of an era for soccer fans.
Yeah, and a giant FIFA World Cup display in New York City. Time to look at what's trending this morning. Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup career has come to an end. The soccer star emotional last night after Portugal lost to Spain in the round of 16 match. The 41-year-old announced the other day, that this will be his final World Cup.
Yeah, this was his 6th tournament, which is a record. He also set a record for scoring in all 6 World Cups in which he played. After beating Portugal, Spain will face Belgium on Friday. And, he has a lot to be proud of.
Oh, yeah. He's playing his first World Cup when he was 17.
Amazing.
Yeah, he was fun to watch.
Lego unveiling a giant FIFA World Cup trophy at Rockefeller Plaza in New York City. It's 27 feet tall, made of 1.4 million pieces. So cool. It took 50 workers and 7,000 hours to build it. It was transported to New York all the way from Czech Republic. This is a replica of the Lego's smaller at-home trophy kit.
All right, we're here in the WRAL Weather Center with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Boy, it came down something fierce around Ridge Road at our house.
It really did. My house, too. Yeah. I mean, just dumped and dumped for a good long time. Sometimes those cells come through and it rains for like 5 minutes like that. But it was a good soaking. We saw as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain in parts of Wake County. But we also had severe storms producing wind damage, too. We have a look at Franklin County, and you can see where we had some of that wind damage there. Look at that. Of course, you can see the tree on the house. And it wasn't just this one. This is the one that we have pictures of. Obviously, these people are out of their house for a while their repairs are going to be done. But we had a cluster of reports of wind damage in northeastern Franklin County. Let's talk about those threats for today. Of course, it's that threat for some severe storms that could produce some wind damage, as well as a small flooding risk. And we have that high heat in our forecast again today, too. Dual Doppler 5000 radar quiet now, but it's likely to become active right about the time we get to just past lunchtime. And this is a look at us around Wake County. I'm just going to leave the wide view so you can get a sense of how not everybody ended up seeing the rain. And this is just the way it is with summer thunderstorms. They come in clusters or lines. We had this line from Durham through Raleigh over toward Wilson, another one in our southern counties, and then 2 more up to the north. But Wake County saw as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain from Raleigh northward, while the southern part of Wake County had a trace to nothing. Knightdale and Durham both at about 2 inches, Rocky Mount almost 2 inches, and Clinton a little over an inch, about half an inch in Oxford and a quarter of an inch in Siler City. And those are just kind of a handful of the reports. Speaking of reports, storm reports in northeastern Wake County, and then that cluster there in Franklin County, and then some along parts of the I-95 corridor as well. Same story again today. We'll just see a repeat of yesterday. Not that the rain will fall in the same place, but we'll have clusters where we have heavy rain and that chance for some severe storms starting around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and then continuing on into the evening. Notice 9, 10, or 11 o'clock, it could still be going, especially in our northern counties. Our severe threat for today does cover the entire state almost. And right now we're looking at some cloud cover beginning to fill in. That should keep our temperatures warming up quite as fast, but it's still going to be a hot day. 73 our dew point, 77 our temperature in downtown Raleigh. We do climb into the mid-90s for this afternoon, but it feels a lot hotter than that. It'll feel like 105 to 106 in our southern counties where we have the heat advisory, and then from the Triangle area northward, more like 100. 102 Raleigh, say 101 in Lewisburg. We're looking at the heat continuing 99 on Friday. That 99 would tie the previous record. And so far in 2026, we've had the most record highs of any year since we've been keeping the records. More chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast too. Laura?
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. Let's get a check on weather and traffic coming up after the break.